So to add one of those assets into our game, we're just going to find the GLB file named after the character that we want to use and drag it into our assets folder in Godot. Then it's going to import this GLB file. I can double click it and you can see what's actually inside this file. GLB stands for Graphics Library Binary, but basically it's a mesh of our player and a bunch of animations on that player. So this is going to be really useful when we come to animating our character. Now that it's in my assets folder, I can treat it exactly like an image and just drag it to the tree in my game. And I'm going to drag it onto player mesh. And you'll see now why it was so useful that we added this player mesh object, because we're just rotating that around to face the same way as our camera. We don't have to fix up all the code. We don't have to swap out this mesh for the Ybot mesh. We're just using our GLB file there instead of this old capsule mesh. So we can hide it now. You can click that I just to get rid of the capsule. You could delete it completely, but we don't really need to. It's not doing anything there in the scene. And it's been replaced with Ybot, or whichever character you choose to use. If you use a short squat character like one of the ones from Kenny, then one thing you might want to do is play with the collision shape, so it matches the shape of your character a bit better. Doesn't matter too much for Ybot because he's about the same height as our capsule already was. But if you've got a Kenny one, it's probably a bit shorter, so you can drag down the capsule object so that you don't collide with stuff that goes over the top of your head. And now that we've got this new asset, our imported GLB file, we'll play the game and we'll see what it looks like. Here we go, I've got a character in the game. It's a bit of an odd looking character because it just stays in that default T-pose. It's going to look a lot nicer when we add some animations to it. But the other thing that you might notice is it's facing backwards again. So before we add the animations, I'm just going to grab the character, hold down Control, and rotate it. That's the collision shape. Grab my Ybot, hold down Control, and rotate it 180 degrees so it's facing away from the camera. Holding down Control just snaps my rotation so I don't get like 179 degrees and it's always facing slightly sideways. So there we go. Now it's facing in the correct direction, still got the awkward T-pose, but whichever way I run, that's the way that my player is facing. So let's add these animations now. It's slightly confusing to do here because we need a copy of this animation player and it's buried inside the GLB file. You might recognize this icon. This icon means that our Ybot is its own scene with special properties inside. And we don't actually want that in this case. We want to be able to see all of the children inside Ybot so that we can access that animation player. So if I right click on Ybot, I get this option to make all of its children objects editable, and I'm going to click that option. So now Ybot has opened up and I can see all the things inside the Ybot. There's its mesh and there's this animation player. And the reason I'm trying to get at that animation player is so I can add it to my script. So let's go to our player script. Go to the top section where we've got all the other objects we want a reference to, and we're going to drag the animation player, making sure I hold down Control before I let go. So now we've got a copy of the animation player in our script, and that means we can use it to play some of the animations. So let's work out where we need to change the player's animation. At the moment, I'm doing one thing if I've pressed a direction, and I'm doing a different thing if I haven't pressed any direction. I go back to a speed of 0. So if I am moving in a direction, let's get my animation player and play the run function. I've made sure to call the animation for all of my assets run, but I haven't changed it for any of the Kenny assets. So if you're using any of the Kenny assets, instead of writing the word run there, you want to write the word sprint instead. Maybe I'll add a comment about that. This word here should be sprint for Kenny assets. That's just because I didn't want to go and change like 20 different animation names when I didn't really need to. So if you're using a Kenny asset, it's the word sprint for that animation. But for all of the other characters, the animation has been called run. And here I've got the option that I'm not moving. So if I'm not moving, I'm going to set the animation player to play the idle animation instead. And I'm pretty sure idle is the same for all of the characters. So I've got two animations. One if I'm moving will be the run animation. The other one if I'm not moving, it'll be the idle animation. Let's play that now. And you can see he's standing still now. He hasn't got his arms up in the air, so he hasn't got the T pose anymore. He's idle. It's not a very exciting animation, but it is moving. Meanwhile, if I run, as soon as I've got a direction, then I've got a running character. It's looking great. The only thing he's not doing is if I jump, he just keeps running. Or if I'm staying still and I jump, he doesn't move at all. So I want to add one final animation for when I'm jumping. And it's a bit awkward if I try to add it up here, just after I jump. Then it actually gets reset when I move or stay still. So that's just because of the order that all the code is running in. If I put it here, it's going to run before these things, and it's just going to be overridden by running or idle. So I'm going to add a small block of code after I've moved to check whether I'm on the ground or not. And if I'm not on the ground, then I'll change to the jumping animation. So if, and you can see what I'm doing here because it's already been added earlier, not is on floor. That means I'm not on the ground. If not is on floor, I'm going to change my animation player to the jump animation. There's our three animations: run, idle, and jump if I'm not on the floor. Let's check out the jump animation. If I'm running and I jump, jump animation. Awesome. If I'm staying still and I jump, jump animation. So that's what we want to see. And that's enough animations for now. We've got three nicely animating characters. This should work with any of the assets. Only difference is that the Kenny ones call run, sprint. All the rest is the same. We should have a jump animation, a idle animation, and a running animation.